Hello, welcome back to another excerpt from A Spiritual Ascension. A little bit different setup today because I'm always usually sitting over there. Um, but I didn't want to lift the shade up, and that light is usually right in my face from the window. But I'm always trying to think of different ways to kind of describe to you guys how it is, what the feeling is, or what it's like to have what I talk about having two lives within one lifetime. And I don't know, for some reason, my most, the, I took a nap, and that time between waking up, in that in between of sleep and waking up, I don't know what they call that time. That's when the veil is like the thinnest for me. And I receive a lot of my answers from spirit during that time. So if there's something that I've asked spirit, to kind of clarify for me, um, I noticed that the answers will come through during that period of like wake up between like that subconscious time, which is, pretty definitive, right? So I was came up with this, well, I should say, Spirit kind of gave me a really great example to kind of describe to you guys how these two lives is within one lifetime. So I'm going to give you an example. So if you can imagine um, a place that you want to go, a city that you want to go anywhere where in the world. And as an example, I'll say maybe London. Okay, you've never been to London at all. You've been dying to go there. Maybe it's Paris, maybe it's Rome, something like that. We're going to use London as our example. And you've never been there, and you're placed in the middle of London for the first time. And the thing is that you've never done any research on the sites as far as what you would like to go visit or what you would like to see. So, say for instance, you want to go maybe see Buckingham Palace, or you've heard of it before. Was it Westminster Abbey? I think I would. I love the Beatles, so I think I would want to go to that crosswalk where they did Abbey Lane, that album cover with the crosswalk. I think it's called Abbey Lane. Um, or Abbey Road, I forget which one. But anyway, you're placed in the middle of the city, right? And you can't, haven't done, are not allowed to do any research before you go. Um, you cannot have a map. You can not have a phone with you to kind of do the Google Maps or anything. You have to depend on other people to tell you, give you directions. And even you don't even probably know what sites you want to see, but get their recommendations as far as, well, what's good to see while I'm here in London? What hotel is the best to stay at? Is Buckingham Palace tour, the tour of Buckingham Palace, can't talk, um, something that's worth seeing. Um, trying to think of some other places. I've never been to London, um, but anyway, you're placed in the middle of the city, and you only have other people to depend on to kind of get your way around. Okay. So imagine what your experience would be like if you're led by other people, kind of telling you which way to go. And you're there for like a month. So someone who you don't even know on the street could tell you, to go into this area. Oh, there's a great restaurant in this area, but could be a really bad place, like a lot of crime and stuff like that. And you don't even know. Just you're going off the guidance of this person. Or someone could give you, the concierge in the hotel can give you a recommendation for another place to see, which might be the best experience that you've had. So take that experience, okay? That's the first experience. Imagine all the things that you have to learn along the way just by talking to other people and learning lessons as far as what areas not to go to, what areas are better to go to, what restaurants are good to eat at, what other restaurants aren't good to eat at, hotels that may be good, other ones that aren't. So you're kind of learning this experience, right? Because you're not using any devices or any maps or anything else. You're going on the word of other people. Okay. So now, next, the next following year, you're going to go back to London. But this time, you've had the experience of what had happened in that first experience from last year. You're able to kind of like now you're able to use your phone, you have maps, you can use the internet to kind of seek more guidance, right? But you also have your experience. You kind of already know the ins and outs of how London is set up. That's how you can view these two lives, okay? Your first experience in London, you had no idea where you were going, no idea what to do. Everyone was kind of telling you and leading you along. Um, and someone could give you bad advice, right? And you go down a certain path, and that path doesn't turn out to be well. Or someone else can say, go down this path, and it turns out to be one of the best things that happened to you. Um, that's what your first life is like. You're being kind of led in gaining experience just by you kind of um, going along and really kind of building up your intuition also as far as what feels good and what doesn't feel good. Okay. You're now taking all that experience that you've had during that first trip, and in your second trip, all the things that you've learned. Um, you kind of know now London almost by the back of your hand just because you had to use your own intuition to kind of maneuver through that first vacation or whatever trip to London. That's what the second life is like. Um, you gained all that experience from the first life. And now you're taking all that experience and you know what you want, what you don't want. You know what clothes to bring with you now in this on this trip, what clothes didn't work and what clothes will work better if it's really raining in London, and you didn't pack for that type of thing. So that's my example of how to view. Hopefully, that's this is like kind of jiving with you to understand that you're taking the experience that you had in your first life into this new life, and you know what's good for you and what's not good for you. But also, you've grown spiritually, okay? And just like you've grown, your intuition has grown from you maneuvering through that first experience um, on that first trip. You're now taking all that information that you've gathered and are able to use it as wisdom, right? So hopefully that kind of you understand where I'm going with that. Um, I felt it interesting too because there was something needling me the last 2 weeks or so. And you know that I've gone through this journey over 5 years. And I've been in this kind of in between period. And I said, something's missing. Like everything from my past life is totally gone, totally gone. But I still had my car that I had purchased from um, when I left New York last year. And I paid cash for it. It was an expensive car. I knew eventually I would get another car. Cars, not probably going to make it too much longer, but it got me where I needed to be. And I'm saying, so I had gone to Walmart yesterday and I'm like, what is it that you, Spirit, like, what is it that you still want me to do? What am I missing? And all of a sudden I got this intuitive hit because I knew that I was going to eventually have to sell the car. And the hit was, it's time for you to sell the car. I was like, oh my goodness, like I've been through so much with that car. And if you've been following my story, I haven't really got to that point yet that I'm telling the story about me and that my Jeep. But um, it's pretty deep. Um, and but I know like there's no when you get to this point where you spirit kind of gives you instructions on what to do next, like you don't hold back from that. You know that you have to push forward. And immediately, like I came back home and I put it online to be sold. So, and I got it was sold pretty quickly. So, I won't have a car probably for a little bit, but the great thing is like I don't really need one where I'm at. It's and you also learn to let go of things. As I told you, everything that was in my past life is gone now. Like I have very few things of what I had in the past, like few things that I had carried with me on my hero's journey. Um, but other than that, I don't have anything from my past life. Everything has to go from that past life in order for you to fully move into your new life. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like a personal reading or spend some time with me talking about your own journey, there is a link below to book time with me. I've also done several courses on the Ascension journey, and that link is below. And I'll see you next time.